This is Lyqa Maravilla, a registered psychometrician, a trying hard educator, motivational speaker, and author. And it's time for us to share stories, insights, and lessons as we keep trying hard to be better together. So you've made a choice. Now the next question would be, did you make the right choice, and how do you live with that choice? That's going to be the topic for a new podcast episode. All right, so we talked about the difficult part, I guess. The part where we break everything down, look at our options, and see which one is the most viable, the best choice, the right choice. And now, tapos na. You already chose your course, your strand, your next job, your boyfriend, your career step, or maybe even the choice to quit at times. Now that you've made that decision, ano nang gagawin natin? And of course, one of the things that we have to understand is choices don't come ng isa lang. Kadalasan series yan. And whether you make the right choice or not, you're going to have to look at things objectively. Para yung susunod mong maging decision will be based on better things. Diba? May improvement na mangyayari dun sa entire process. Pero pag-usapan muna natin yung ilang bagay na very important to really take stock of pagdating sa ating decision-making process. Okay? Now, one of the things that I have to point out is that if you don't make a decision, that is still a decision. And a lot of people tend to hide behind yung screen na, okay, ibang tao yung magde-decide for me. If ayoko nung course na ito, ay hindi naman kasi ako yung pumili niyan. So we put the blame on other people. But what we have to understand is, in many situations sa buhay natin, feeling natin wala tayong choice and ibang tao nag-decision for us. Pero at the end of the day, meron pa ring bearing yung hindi natin pagtitake ng ownership dun sa decision na yon. So again, let me start off by saying this. If you don't make a decision, someone else will make a decision for you. But the only thing is, you will have to live through the consequences of their decision. There's just a certain level of satisfaction, I guess, when it comes to knowing that you were the one who made that decision. And so, whether it turns out well or papalpak siya, meron kang feeling na okay lang. Okay to kasi sa aking decision to. And whether kailangan kong masaktan, kailangan kong mahirapan dun sa consequences ng actions ko, I can say na okay lang yun kasi ginusto ko to. So, ang question talaga at the end of the day would be, are you willing to let other people make decisions for you? Because even if other people made that decision for you, ikaw pa rin yung mabubuhay with the consequences at the end of the day. And I say that with difficulty because we know na, making the decision, having the opportunity to make decisions, it's a privilege sa maraming sitwasyon. But I guess, di ba, lagi ko na sinasabi sa inyo, give yourself a fair chance. Give yourself a fighting chance. And so there's a bit of formula that we're going to have to talk about. Okay? There's a series of things na we have to discuss. Number one would be this. When you make a decision, you have to tell yourself, and at times you have to say it out loud, I made this decision, and so I have to live with the consequences of my decision. Okay, so unang statement yon. If you were the one who actively made that decision, ikaw talaga yung namili ng course mo, ikaw talaga yung nag-decide na mag-resign, ikaw nag-decide na, okay, ito yung colors for my brand or for my company, then I made this decision and I will have to live with the consequences of my decision. The second thing would be this. You could say, okay, again, kung hindi mo na ipaglaban or hindi mo talaga pinaglaban kasi medyo duwag ka, natakot ka, or you felt powerless at the time, you could say this, I didn't make a decision, so someone made it for me. But now I have to live with the consequences. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Again, I didn't make a decision, hindi ako nag-decide, so someone else made it for me. Diba? And now I have to live with the consequences. Bakit? Kasi, and again, I'm going to draw from my personal experience, no? For some time, I told myself, that the reason why I didn't last that long sa UP Diliman, or why I dropped out of UP, is because my parents picked my course. Kasi sila yung namili ng course na public ad eh. Ayoko naman mag-public administration. In fact, there's a little bit of an anecdote there na nasa bahay namin yung form. Diba? Kasi may form yan na fill outan mo eh kapag mag-apply ka for UPCAT. Tapos I was already starting to shade, or actually pencil in ko na yung yung psychology as the course na gusto ko as my second option, kasi yung first option pinapick nila kami ng BAA kahit alam naman natin na medyo malabong mapili doon. But yung second option was gusto ko psychology. But my parents said, anong trabaho mo after? Or anong gagawin mo after? And gusto talaga nila public ad para daw magtrabaho ko sa gobyerno after, because that's my family's way of making sure that we had a fighting chance after graduation na makatrabaho agad, because yun ang malinaw na goal sa buhay namin, kasi hindi kami mayaman eh. So kailangan makatrabaho ka agad. And because both my parents worked sa government office, ang iniisip nila, kung pupunta sila dito or kung magiging government employees din sila, maganda kung public ad yung course nila. So that was their logic in choosing the course. I wanted to take up psychology, but I guess I didn't want it enough at the time to fight for that choice. And so, my dad picked siya yung nag-shade ng final answer. Nagbura siya nung psychology, and then naging public ad yung course ko. Now, for a long time, I would tell people na, okay, medyo may pagka-rebellion yung dating nung decision ko to not do well sa UP Diliman. Pero hindi eh. Kasi had I owned that decision, granted again, hindi maganda yung sitwasyon, hindi kami close ng parents ko enough for me to fight for what I wanted. And I never really knew how to explain ko ano yung gusto ko. Actually, it's still something I struggle with these days. When people ask me randomly, anong gusto mo? Alin ang gusto mong color? Options, sabihin ko, ikaw nang bahala, or kahit ano. Kasi hindi ako sanay na gumawa ng mga decisions. But I still have to live with the consequences eh. Hindi ako nag-decide. Hindi ako strong enough to fight for what I wanted. And so I need to live with that choice. Now, yung third thing would be this, and this is something na nasa extreme na. I didn't make this decision at all. But still, I have to live with the consequences. One of the biggest things that we need to talk about when it comes to that third slot is being born. Tama? Kasi hindi natin decision to be born in the first place. But we were born. Di ba? Bigla tayong pinanganak. Hindi naman natin hiningi. Di ba? Pero nandito na tayo. I didn't make this decision. But I have to live with the consequences ng decision na ito. And that is when we start to let go. If we can commit to one of those statements, if we understand this, if we can say it, then yung proseso ng moving with yung decision, living with the consequences of that decision becomes smoother. Kung hindi natin i-own yung bagay na yun, mahihirapan tayo in the long run. So I really encourage you to think about that. The moment you make a decision or something, or a decision was made for you, say it. I made this decision, I have to live with the consequences. I didn't make a decision, so someone made it for me. Or I didn't make this decision, but I still have to live with the consequences. Kasi that's the reality of the situation. And the more we feel bad about ourselves, kasi hindi naman ito yung gusto ko, or hindi ko pinili ito, or someone else did this, someone else made it for me, mas tatagal yung healing, mas babagal yung healing. And this part right here is a little bit painful to say, but I'll say it anyway because that's what the Trying Hard podcast is all about. We talk about the difficult things in life, and this is a difficult conversation for me. But in my life, a lot of decisions were also made without my consent. No, a lot of the experiences I had, I didn't like, I didn't want, I didn't need even. No. And some of them were terrible decisions made by terrible people in my past. But I still say na I didn't make this decision. I don't want this. I didn't deserve it. It happened to me. But I have to live with the consequences. Because that's the reality eh. If I stay in my past thinking na okay, I don't deserve this, dapat hindi ito nangyari sa akin, dapat hindi na lang, hindi ako makaka-move on. And I'm not saying that to minimize any of your struggles, no? Hindi ko sinasabi na dapat ganun or magically biglang mangyayari dyan. Ang sasabihin ko would be, it took me, 2 decades to get to this point? But that's what life is. And the moment you understand that, the moment you take ownership over things, it's when we can start doing the next part, which is following through with our decisions. So again, number 1 na nagagawin after you've made a decision would be to take ownership. To say those words, na I am here to live with the consequences of my actions and other people's decisions and actions made by people that I didn't like. I have to live with this. This is my reality. This is the truth. I have to be ready. And then yung next part is about follow through. Okay? Now, mag-quick break muna tayo just for my benefit because I need to breathe for a bit.
Siya yung bumibili ng planner, taon-taon kasi New Year, New You. Oo. Pero hindi niya naman sinusulatan. Wala yun. Kasi daw pangit yung sulat niya, sayang yung papel. Tapos minsan, January, okay pa, sinusulatan niya, ginagamit niya. February, okay pa. Tapos susunod niyang bubuksan, September na. Ganun ka rin ba? Ako rin kasi, kaya nga gumawa ko ng sarili kong planner. Ito ang planner na para sa mga try-hard, kagaya ko. At dahil hindi nakakahiya maging trying hard, mas nakakahiya to not try at all, nilagay na natin sa cover mismo. This planner is undated, kaya pwede mo simulan gamitin kahit kailan. At kung makakalimutan gamitin pwede mong gamitin ulit. Walang masasayang na papel. But I should warn you, this planner is not for everyone. Parang yung podcast natin. Others may look at it and say it's too much or it's too messy. Pero I made these choices para hindi kayo mahiyang gamitin. This is the kind of planner you can use and abuse. Aside from the monthly spread, weekly spread, at yung task list, meron din siyang mga activity sheets that you can use sa inyong journey sa personal development. At kung ready ka na bumili para sa'yo o para panregalo, you can go to bit.ly/tryinghard planner. And for the first 100 orders hanggang November 30, I will also include a dedication. Kung gusto nyo lang naman. You just let us know dun sa notes kung kaninong pangalan ang isusulat. Now, I always tell you to dream big, work hard, and start now. This planner right here is actually one of my big dreams, so thank you all for making it come true.
So, yeah, let's jump right into yung ating discussion ulit. So, we already talked about yung first step, taking ownership, making that statement. Next part would be following through. You know, a lot of people come to me and say na parang, okay, success na po. Bakit? Bakit nagkaroon ng success? Kasi pumasa ako sa UPCAT, pumasa ako sa civil service exam, pumasa ako sa job interview. No? I made this decision, I did my part, now I have it. But it takes a lot of self-control for me to keep myself from saying na, alam mo, you're just getting started. Because when we make decisions, we have to understand that it's usually the beginning of things, not the end of things. And because it's the beginning of things, there are more decisions to come. It's going to be a longer process than you think. Marami ka pang gagawin after that. Nakapasa ka sa UPCAT? Actually, that's the easiest part. Nakapasa ka sa UP Lae? Madali lang yan. Kayang-kaya mo yan. But living through 4 years of law school is a different challenge. Okay? It's a different and more, terrifying monster to take on. So it's going to be the start of things. How do you follow through? Now, the simple line there would be just to do your part. And I encourage you to do that. Whenever you make a choice and you have to live with your choice, understand that it comes with yung promise to do your part. Whatever your part may be, na magfa-follow yung decision na yon. If you decide to, say, get married, diba? You have to follow through and do your part. Things will change. You are no longer single. You are now someone's partner in life. So you have to do your part. If you make a decision to have a child, okay, hopefully when you're really ready to make that decision, you have to understand that you have to do your part and follow through after. You're no longer this one person who wants success in life ng pansarili lamang kasi now you have a child and things will change. You have to do your part. Now, when you do your part, the next part is this. What if other people don't do their part in the decision? Because the truth is, a lot of our decisions, maraming involved Hindi lang naman sa atin yun When you decide to, say, start a business, like I did, with Sandy, no? It's our decision, dalawa kami na partners dun sa business. And when I make my decisions or I do my part, there is this promise that she has to do her part as well. And when she does her part, dapat gagawin ko rin yung part ko. Na paano kung lalaylay? Paano kung one day I just say na, okay, I can't create content anymore. I can't make videos anymore. I'm unable to do it. I'm too anxious. I'm too stressed out. Tuyong-tuyo na ako, hindi ko kaya. What do we do then? No? Kung bigla akong magiging inactive na partner for her or inactive na creator. Then the next part would be switching, pivoting. We can't control other people, no? Pero as long as you do your part, you have to understand that there are storms you can wait out. You just sometimes have to wait until the other person comes around to doing what they need to do. And that is why it's very important na bumalik dun sa initial na conversation about making decisions. Bumalik dun sa idea na when you make decisions, it's usually not just ikaw sa bubble. Maraming people who will be affected by it. Maraming people who will have to contribute dun sa buong proseso na yun. And so pair up, group with people na you know would be there for you, na you know you would be willing to be there for them. Kasi lalaylay at lalalay mga tao. Ang importante is that you do your part. Okay? Now, babalik tayo dun sa unang sinabi ko dun sa episode last week, which is, you never really know until things play out. Okay? And you have to prepare to be surprised. Okay? Prepare to be surprised when you make decisions because, you know, some of the worst decisions on paper that I made brought about the best results. And some of the best decisions on paper that I made ended up hurting in real life. So, you have to prepare to be surprised. One thing you have to understand is no matter how great you are in making the right choice, no matter how great you are at picking people, doing your part, following through, taking ownership, sometimes things just fail. Things just don't work. Ganun lang talaga. So prepare to be surprised. One of the things I could share would be, again, my decision to say up and quit law school, quit yung pagiging career woman and venture into content creation. It was not an easy decision. Lalo na at that time kasi hindi pa naman uso yung YouTuber as a career here in the Philippines at that time. I think when I started creating content, iilan pa lang yung naka 1 million subscribers on YouTube because people were just on Facebook. Hindi pa abot ng bandwidth ng data ng mga tao. Ang YouTube, wala pa tayo sa point na yon. Wala pang fiber connection. So, hindi pa talaga masyadong naibababa yung gate or yung wall when it comes to being a content creator. And it was a stupid decision by all accounts. It was not a smart decision to leave UP Law when a lot of people, you know, were dreaming about it, really would fight for that opportunity. Hindi magandang decision to take a risk and not work yung full-time job. Kasi nagigig lang ako nung first year ko na gumagawa ng content. It was not a good decision to go full-time when I did, 2017. Kasi at that time, I think I was earning maybe just a couple thousand pesos per month on YouTube AdSense revenue. So, hindi talaga siya regular at all. It was not a good decision on paper. But, what I could say would be, hindi siya man pumasa dun sa logically okay na decision. Nilaban siya nung next part, which is I was so willing to take ownership over that decision. All I wanted was a shot. I just said, okay, I'll take ownership over this decision. This is my decision. I am willing to live with the consequences of my action. And, of course, hinabol din nung follow through, which is I will try my best to make it work. I will do my part. I will keep making videos. I will keep accepting gigs here and there, mag-host here and there para makaipon ako ng enough so I can buy yung equipment that I need. And because merong ganun, nabawi siya doon. Nakabig siya nung ownership, nakabig siya nung follow-through. And now I have you. listening to me, watching to my videos, being with me, being part of the team. And now we're growing the team. So, I don't know if medyo counterproductive ba para sabihin ko to, no? Pero, we are here talking about how to make the right choices, how to live with your choices, good, bad, ugly. But at the end of the day, you really never know. One of the biggest choices that you have to make, nakaakibat ng lahat ng choice that you will make in life, is the choice to let go. We contribute sa process. We contribute dun sa decision making, we contribute dun sa work that we put in, but you can never really control the results of your choices. And it's all about that. It's all about making a choice that you are willing to live with and surrendering what will happen after. You have to surrender yung results. You have to let go of the results. And know that your part ended when you did your part. What do I mean by that? Hindi tayo in control of the results. And I'm saying that with a heavy heart kasi I'm really going through a lot these days. And one of those is that na I'm scared. I'm very scared. I'm terrified, actually. I'm terrified of how things will be in the next few months for my company. I'm terrified kasi we are increasing yung number ng teammates. So, ibig sabihin nun, nag-hire kami ng mga tao. We are taking on interns right now. We're going through the application process nila, screening the resumes. Actually, Zandy's doing it, no? And we're going to have to pick the people who will work with us. And of course, I want to be able to provide for them kahit papaano, no? Kahit allowance lang for the interns, and of course, a reasonable na salary for the EAs. And in order for me to do that, I need to work. I need to find streams ng income so I can append yung pondo ng company. And I'm scared. I'm scared. It keeps me up at night, sa totoo lang. I'm so scared. But there's something in me that still whispers and if you believe in God, you would say it's God. And I do. So I say it's God. Na nagsasabi sa akin na you're doing your part. Let me handle the results. And one thing that I would also say would be this. It's in these difficult times that we have to live with decisions that we made. That we have to let go of the results and let go of how things will exactly work. Diba? Kasi you do your part but you don't really know how it will land. You do your part in pitching an idea pero hindi mo rin alam kung mapipili ka. Or hindi mo rin alam kung mag-work out din sila at the end. It's when we understand na, okay, this is not my first rodeo. Na I've made hundreds, thousands, actually millions, no? Every day kasi we make choices before. And somehow it still worked out. Na we understand that it is just part of the process. One of the things I want to leave you with, kasi we're winding down, would be this. You have to understand that every choice we make, meron siyang long-term na results. Meron siyang patak na investment in our future. Pangmatagalan yung mga decisions that we make. And even the decisions that we make that didn't work out right now, it's actually going to be part of the tapestry of things that will happen in the future. We have to believe that the bad things happening now will play a huge role in how beautiful the things will be in our future. Because it's true. It's true in my life. You know, going back to that decision that my parents made for me, that I have to live with, which is going to UP sa public ad. On paper, again, it's a terrible result for me to drop out of UP. Hindi magandang decision din for me to leave UP Law. But in my heart, I'm actually grateful that it happened. I'm grateful that I failed. Okay? Na hindi ako naging successful sa first course ko. Grateful ako na hindi ako top student my entire life. Na hindi ako King Midas na everything I touch will turn to gold. Because it gave me a certain level of humility, if I can call it that, or at least groundedness, pagiging grounded sa reality. And it taught me empathy for people. It made me understand that, mental health, mental illness, depression is a real thing. It made my family understand that depression is a real thing. And me hearing my mom say, just a few weeks back na, hindi ko kasi naintindihan kasi kausap niya isang amiga niya na sabi niya, ang depression kasi, totoo yan, iba yan, kailangan natin pag-usapan yan. Tapos nung narinig ko yung mom ko nagsabi ng ganun, parang, I know I went through a lot of terrible things, but hearing her say that brought a lot of, I would say, joy in my heart. Because that is what happened because of like a series of bad choices that were made in the past. So, if anything, maybe that line right there can help alleviate the pressure when it comes to you wanting to make the right choice. Because whether it's a right choice or not is an easy question. If it's morally right, of course it's the right choice. If it's not going to be hurtful to anyone, it's the right choice. But whether it's a good choice, a bad choice, the best choice, or the worst choice, will always be up for grabs. Hindi yan masasabi right away. Because out of the worst things in life can come the best of things. And I don't want you to think na parang, napaka-positive naman, napaka-fake naman nung line na yun. Pero, I'm saying that because I'm living proof of that. And that is actually why I kind of don't have a lot of regrets in life. Because they did play a huge part in me being me right now. I'm so terrified, sa totoo lang. I'm terrified of who I could have been if I only made the right choices in life, or if I only made the good choices in life. If I'm so afraid of success to a certain extent, no? Kasi ini-imagine ko lang, sobrang yabang ko siguro. Like, I'm going to be very blunt with you, no? Sobrang yabang ko siguro kung hindi ako UP dropout. Like, ang yabang ko. And I would hate that version of myself. So, humbling experience for me, growing experience for me, it made me a better person. It made me who I am today. It made me more empathetic towards other people. And it also lit a fire within me to do what I'm doing now. Kasi now I understand that people need to have a shot, much like what I had. And people even need a second shot when they fail. So, give yourself a little bit of leeway when it comes to making choices. Just give yourself a little bit of grace. Try to do the right thing. But if hindi siya mag-play out exactly as you'd want it to, understand that it's part of the process. Live with your decisions. And understand that it's not the end. Ganun lang. Na this is just part of your journey. This is one chapter. And you can come out a better person. Whether maganda or hindi yung naging resulta ng choice mo. We like to box ourselves in eh. We like to think na parang, okay, if I do this, if na-achieve ko to, if naging cum laude ako, if naging ganito ako, everything will be magically okay. But life isn't like that. In many ways, life is a series of days. Just days. A series of hours, a series of minutes, of moments of us trying to do what's right. Trying to be a better person. And as long as we're alive, what that means is you have another moment, another set of minutes, of hours, of days for you to learn from the things that happened and for you to make better choices. So, I guess at the end of this episode, what I just want you to understand is we try to make the right choices. We try to live with our choices. We try to follow through with our choices. We try to understand the role of those choices in the bigger picture. But we have to understand that we have to be kind to ourselves as well. One of the things I'm grateful for, na I believe in God, is that I know that He has a plan for me and that, I can relinquish some control. And for me as a control freak, that's already difficult to do. But I need that in my life. And I'm not ashamed to say that because I'm grateful na I don't get to control everything. I'm grateful na I understand na meron akong savior na masasandalan in those moments. Because not having that would actually make life even harder to live for me. So we have to trust na at the end things will still work out as things have in the past. And we have to understand that this same journey that you're in right now, other people are in the same journey as well. This is how we become kind to others as well. When we start being kind to ourselves. So be kind to yourself. Try to make good choices. But understand it will not be perfect. And so when we interact with other people who are also trying to make choices in life, we can be a little bit more forgiving towards them as well. Yeah, I didn't expect that the conversation will turn out like this or mag-change siya into this, but I really think it needs to be said. Lalo na these days, we are in the middle of a global pandemic. People are, sometimes turning against each other. People are always fighting online, and kasama ako doon when I say people kasi tao po ako. And people are always, doing certain things na masyadong mataas yung emotions or masyadong involved, masyadong heightened yung feelings natin. At the end of the day, may we truly emerge as better people after this entire experience. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Diba, lagi ko sinasabi sa inyo, who you become means more than what you become. And in the choices that we make, that's also true. Try hard, try to be better, and understand that as long as you're alive, that means that the work isn't done yet. May process pa rin. So, isisingit ko rin dito, please do not assume that I know better than you. Please do not assume that the people you look up to are better people or are perfect people. We're not. No? I'm not. Those people aren't perfect people. Kahit na hindi nila sinasabi yun. We are all still alive, which means we still have room to grow, which means we still have our own struggles. So it's all about struggling well. No? Ganun na lang. Yun na lang yung baunin natin dito. And let me end this conversation with just the promise that the fact that you're still listening to this, you're still engaging with this, nandito pa rin tayo, means there's hope. There's always hope. And you could be better. You could feel feelings right now. You could be down right now, but things will get better. You're still here. We still need you here. And let's just keep trying to make the right choice. Okay? Yeah, I'll end it right there just because I can't say anything else. But I hope this episode has been kahit papaano mas hopeful and mas real and mas malalim. Even this shared struggle, I think, will bring us a lot of comfort. And if you haven't followed the podcast yet, go ahead and hit follow. Na-release naman yung episodes natin every Sunday, 7 p.m. on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere you get your podcast. And if you want to share your own thoughts, you can use the hashtag Trying Hard with Lyqa, Trying Hard with LYQA yun, on your social media accounts para mahanap namin yung comments ninyo. And of course, you can join the Trying Hard podcast community on Facebook right now. It's a Facebook group. That's where we interact, where we pitch some of the ideas, where you can ask for my advice sa certain situations. Pag-usapan natin sa susunod na mga episodes. Thank you for listening to me right now. Magkita-kita tayo or mag-usap tayo sa susunod na episode. As we always say, dito sa podcast na ito, dream big, work hard. Or should I say, dream big, work hard, make right choices, follow through with your choices, live with your choices, and try not to be afraid or try not to be ashamed when people start calling you try hard. You're still alive. You can still keep trying. Alright? Kaya natin to, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.